Yeah, I thought coming out that first, probably 3, 4, 5 minutes, I thought we had what I call game slippage, where you are so excited to play that you make a lot of mistakes that you don't typically make. Probably not noticeable mistakes, but you could just feel it from the sideline where they were a little bit stretched out defensively. And then offensively, we got flow pretty early. We just didn't get the shots that we were looking for to start. Once we calmed down, let the excitement die down, then we were able to click offensively and obviously get a ton of assists, shoot a high percentage, and then defensively we cleaned it up that second half as well.
How does it feel for you? First win under your belt, now you can check that off the list.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of all the things we did wrong. So, no, it was good. I think for a new program, not a new program, but obviously taking it over, new staff, new players, a new school, a lot of new. That's why we needed this game, was to get used to the whole pregame and how we're going to come out, where we come out of, how does it feel to come out of the tunnel, how's the crowd feel, how's the environment feel, and then obviously some of that slippage piece of playing together, which I thought we felt a lot of to start, and then we dialed it back in, and then towards the end it got a little carried away. We were probably just trying to get dunks, but it was fine.
You guys play a really fast-paced offense, yes, whole game. How do you see that translating to Division I? I mean, obviously going against an NAIA opponent is a little different.
Yeah, I think it's probably even cleaner with Division I. I think they probably play less players. You have a better scout, that sort of thing. So then the game's a little bit cleaner from an offensive perspective. We do play fast. A lot of times it's just how fast the ball moves and how fast the action comes at you, so it feels even faster than it actually is. Obviously, when we get a stop, we want to sprint to score and see if we can get something easy in transition. Then after that, we just flow, and the ball just pops and moves and, penetrate and pitch and all the things that we try to do.
Daniel had a career-high 30 points tonight. Can you just talk about his performance going out there and kind of taking the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I thought a lot of guys had a lot of open looks, and he did as well. He just took full advantage of them. So, he's a kid that puts in a lot of work. He's in the gym probably close to more than anybody I've ever coached, and it just shows. And it's just like even preseason and summer and all that, his leadership ability, he deserves to have nights like that and deserves to be able to play like that. And so that was just a result of a lot of hard work for him.
And then Bennett just comes out as a guy who does a little bit of everything at a high level. What did you see from him tonight? What is it about him that allows him to do that?
Boy, coaching? No, I'm just kidding. No, he comes from a coaching family. So his dad was his high school coach, and so he's kind of got a natural feel and ability to him. He just doesn't look imposing. He's 6'4", 6'5", and kind of long, gangly, and then he comes out there and he controls the game. He controls the pace. He controls every part of the game. Even tonight, I didn't think he controlled it as much as he normally would. I thought we were just flowing more than we were trying to run a bunch of sets. We ran a few sets, and that's when he's even better, when he's got specific reads. So, he's a kid that plays with a chip on his shoulder. He wasn't recruited Division I, and now he's playing Division I. And he plays with a level of kind of that chip on his shoulder, like, hey, I'm gonna prove it. And he's done a great job. Obviously summer, preseason scrimmages, and obviously tonight.
Got a lot of love when he stepped in. What did you kind of see from him tonight that makes you confident that he can continue the success he had under the previous coaching staff of your coaching?
Yeah. So we've shifted what he does slightly. So he's more on the perimeter right now. I think he's so athletic that if you give him space, he's much better. Just screening and rolling and screening and diving. He does okay with that, but cutting, getting downhill on drives, he's elite at that. And then I thought the second half he did a much better job of guarding guards. whereas I thought the first half guarding guards, he was sitting off a little bit, but then he kind of corrected it. He's been great in practice, great attitude. He's a different level athlete, and I think you're going to see that even more and more as we get everything cleaned up.
You have less than a week before your first Division I opponent in CNF Boston. What do you kind of take into the next week as the biggest things that need to be improved on?
Screening angles were horrendous. Our defensive spacing wasn't great, but I think that was a little bit attributed to slippage. Need to make sure that we continue to box out because CNF Boston's very physical on the offensive glass. And then obviously watching film, I'll figure out it. There's like 3 or 4 things that I thought I did poorly in preparation that I'm going to make sure that we get corrected for the next one. Just some simple set things that I've got to get dialed in. But that's part of why you play these games is to try to you got to look at yourself and then you got to look at your team. You got to get it all corrected.
Coach, at the beginning of the game, all the players were gelling really well together, having a lot of fun, getting each other hyped up, and you kind of saw that with the crowd too at the beginning of the game for everything like that, ramping up to tip off. What are some of the big takeaways you saw as a coach and as a person stepping out to the NAP Center for the first time, looking at the audience, and kind of what were some of your internal thoughts as you were on that ramp up towards game?
Yeah. So first, kind of the guys with the energy. We try to. I'm a big rah-rah guy, so that's part of that. I always say you can. I mean, part of it starts fake, and then eventually it becomes reality. So that's part of that energy deal. But walking out, I think the interesting part is this, and I think this is what makes Drake and what the administration here and obviously Coach DeVries and some of the past players have done to really get this. When you walk out or even when I'm back in the locker room, you're like, man, this feels like a mid-major college basketball game. It doesn't feel like a Division II college basketball game, and I love Division II. Obviously the national titles and stuff like that is different, but they do make it a big-time environment, and the fans did come out enough. We're going to get it bigger, and we're going to get more fans there, but I think it's very unique to have something like this in a big city, and I think the more we can get people out and see the quality of the environment and the quality of the show that we can put on, I think it's going to be even better, and it's going to be hopefully a premier mid-major environment that we can get out there. So,
Plain and simple, after this game, you and your team have gone through a game at the NAP Center. The fans have seen you guys going into throughout the rest of the week and the rest of the season. What is the overarching theme for your players in practice and kind of going through the rest of this non-conference schedule? If you had to pinpoint one specific thing.
Not necessarily a theme outside of just making sure that you continue to. Our big thing is impose your will, where you just attack it. You attack it and you impose your will on every practice, every game, everything that you do, and that's really it. Kind of keep focused on that process of getting better. The results take care of themselves. All the cliche coaching things, that's what we try to focus on, what we actually do. Specific to the next test, I think just with our size, we've got really good positional size, but we're not massive inside. And so you really have to gang rebound. So that's a big focus on making sure that we get our box outs, we get the 50-50 balls. In our scrimmages, we've out-rebounded both teams. Obviously tonight we did, but we had a size advantage. And so you just need to kind of continue down that path to make sure that we don't get beat to 50-50 balls and defensive rebound, offensive rebounds for them.